Hi everyone, my name's Debbie Job from Project Life Deb's Way. I've got a fantastic process life video for you this time. It's using the Simple Stories Vintage Green collection, which is a beautiful apricot and sort of turquoisey bottle green tones, and it's got florals and butterflies and things like that. I tend to make all of my own Project Life cards from normal scrapbook collections because I find A, it's cheaper, and 2, it keeps scrapbooking alive. I don't do mine as a Project Life system. I actually do mine for photo albums and things like that. So I will take you through doing all the individual cards, and I will show you my cutting and everything else that you need to do for this. And I'll also show you how I layer my cards and work out what papers to use for my cards. So I will actually change the camera angle so that you can actually physically see what the layout looks like. And then I do hope that you will join us for the rest of the video while I take you through doing all the cards. Here's a look at the finished layout side by side with photographs included so that you can see the finished item. Please don't forget to leave some comments or any questions that you've got about this process, as I do love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because if you do, you'll get notifications of when I put up new videos and that. So with no further ado, let's get on with our crafting fun time. Next layout collection I will be using is from Simple Stories, and it was bought out not so long ago, the Simple Vintage Garden District. It has, I actually bought the collection kit because it was on sale, and it does have quite a few of your sheets that you can use. It also came with this sheet in the collection kit, which actually saves you from buying your bits and bobs. But I also extra ordered this particular sheet here, which comes. So basically I have my, what I call my spludgy papers I'll be using. I'll also use some of this one. I'll definitely be using this one here to go, and some more of my spludgy papers. And then these will be sort of like cut apart sheets that I use bits and bobs from. So I decided as my base colours, if you have a look at your tonings, I've decided on a off-white, it's like a winter white cardstock. And I've also, this comes from the Peon, but it's just the right colour pink for what I want with my base card stock. So that's the things that I will be using on this layout to give you a sort of a heads up with the type of thing that we'll be making. So let's get on with making our cards. Now we'll start on our cards. I've decided that I might, I did some copying on a toner printer and foiled just some words and things, so I may use some of these to add to my card. I also used from this card here, they had some, I think they're 4x4s, so I'm going to use the doily pattern, and I've also cut this one out as well because I'm going to cut the flowers out. So I will go ahead and I'm just going to cut the flower out, not the doily. Now I've got my 6x4. I have got my coloured card here, which came from the butterfly paper. and I decided instead of pink, I would actually, I've got a Teresa Collins gold, but any gold will do that I've just edged in gold. I am going to, in the pink, just quickly do my edges, and I've also cut one of the little green butterflies from this butterfly paper. So let's go ahead and construct our card. And as I said, I planned it so I'd have some florals here, and the back of that paper does have a lot of florals that you can actually use. So we'll just put that down with our border like so. And because I've got some florals here, if you didn't have a floral, there is a floral sheet that you could cut some of your florals from. You also have, with this, you have these two sheets with lots of cutouts that you could use. So there's plenty of options. So just build up some florals. On your page. So if you didn't have these florals, just put some more florals coming down. I am going to use my wording there. I'm just going to tuck it in, and I've cut it sort of out so it's close because it's white and it hides really nicely. I'm going to put a butterfly up here to match this one here, and off the sticker sheet, which I'll just quickly trim some of the white off. You don't need to do that, but I don't particularly like having the white showing on my butterfly. And I'm just going to put that one angling, and this one I'm going to put angling away the other way. And there we have our first eye candy card, our title card. This particular Vintage Garden District set, I did find it very, very difficult working my colours and layering and etc. I thought it would be a lot easier than what it turned out to be, but I think you'll like the results when you see your finished cards. Our next card off the cab rank, I have done the gold edging around, and once again this has had, it's a 6x4 with 1/4 inch taken off of 2 sides. So once again you get that nice white border. Now what I have actually done, I don't know whether you can see, I've actually gone with this and I've actually run my dauber over the paper a little bit so I get that lovely gold edge onto the card so it slightly shimmers. Now what we are going to do with this darker green card, I have got a 3x4 photo mat with a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 pink mat on the top. This will be going up here into the corner, So I want this to just fit in. So what I did is I cut this a little bit shorter so that I'd only have a tiny border all the way round, and then my photograph will actually sit over the top. Now on these sheets that they do a lot of long strips, so you can choose which ones you have. I particularly liked this one, mainly because I haven't used the bird, but I could use that one and put a butterfly over the top. So I'm just going to see how this fits, and I quite like this. So what I am going to do, okay, so we need to put our photo mat down. And raise that up as far as we can get it up so that you've still got some borders showing. Now this I'm going to pop here. Like so. Now, because I want a photograph to fit underneath, and this is a sticky, here's a little trick that you can do. Just cut a piece of your sticky paper where the sticker actually came from and just stick it on the back. Then stick that down, and then once you put your photograph in, you can just take the paper out before and attach it down onto your photograph. And I've decided to use some of the love hearts that is on here. And there we have our next card. You don't want to decorate it too much, otherwise it takes away from your photographs. Our bottom left-hand card, you've got your 6x4. You'll also have your other 6x4 that I've just taken 1/4 of an inch off of two sides, and I've edged that in the gold so that you've just got a tiny bit of gold. Now we're going to stick that on so that it just has that nice little border, like so. I then have got my butterfly card, which I want just over here. And once again, that has got, that is 4.5 by 3.5. And we are going to put this one down. So there's a small border all the way round, like so. Now I've got a 3x4 photo mat here. I also have that inch strip, which I've done the gold again, which I've actually bordered quite across the top. Now, when you're putting florals in, sort of place your bits and bobs and put your photo mat in, like so. So this needs to come up a bit. Now this is that inch strip. Now what I want to do with this is I want to lay that all the way across, and you need it to go from edge to edge, and then your photo mat goes on the top, and that's a 3x4 photo mat, so that the green is just underneath. And here I have got a sticker that came off the sticker sheet. Now once again, because you've got a photograph going in, just tear off a piece of the paper, put it onto your photograph, position your sticker like so. And I've sort of put the corner very close, but I've put it right up to the top. So you can actually leave that piece of paper there so it doesn't, so you can actually put your photograph underneath, and then you just take that piece off. Now with this flower, I have decided to cut that piece out because it was overlapping the photograph too much. And there we have it. We're going to stick that just here. Bring it down slightly. So attach it with glue or tape, or if it's a sticker, stick it down. And once again, if you've got a photograph there, just pop that excess paper underneath until you put your photograph in, and then you can actually stick it down. Now I'm just going to cut the excess off like so. Now if you felt that you wanted something just here, you could put another butterfly there, which I think might be a nice idea. So I'm just going to take the excess, quickly take the excess white off, and I'm just going to make that slightly smaller than what they originally wanted it to be. And we will stick that down. And for anybody that's new at this type of scrapbooking, don't forget you don't need an awful lot of tape because these are going into a folder and are protected. but whatever you do, please use a good tape, because otherwise everything in a couple of years will all just fall off if you use cheap tape. And there we have our next card. Our next card, which is our last of our landscapes, I used the floral, and I've got my 6x4 card here. So we just need to attach, and I've edged it in gold. So we'll just attach this card with some tape, and so we'll lay that down. And once again, that's just had 1/4 inch off of two sides off of a 6x4 to give you that border. I also have a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 of the green butterfly card as well, and on that I will put my photo mat of 3x4 onto that, which I've edged in gold. Like so, so that we just have a green border. Now this card came off of one of the cards that had the 3x4s. I wanted this because I just wanted the pink, and I've just cut it down to size, so that works out at 3 by just over 3 1/2, so that it has a fine little border which I've edged in the pink, just to give me a little bit of colour pop. So we'll just pop that on to our card like so with the border, and then we'll put our photo mat down on the top of that. And that just breaks up that card and makes the green stand out. Now I've cut a floral piece from some of the flower sheets, which I'm just going to pop in the corner, and I'm going to just pop like so. Now I've edged this flower in pink. Take those raw edges off. And if that's sticking onto your photograph, just wind back some of that tape. And then you can make sure that your photograph will slide underneath. Now I think with this it is quite plain, so I may I'm just going to put a little word sheet in. Take that off. So. And that just fits in beautifully there. Now I'm just going to readjust this a little bit lower. I'm going to cut the excess off. That looks a lot better because it just had too much what they class as white space there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape down on the bottom of that flower just to make sure that that attaches down, but I can still get my photograph in that corner. And there we have the last of our landscape cards. Now we will do our 3x4 cards. Now on to our 3x4 cards here. I also have run off on the toner printer a lot of these little journaling spots, and this is one way that you can save money. You can actually buy these from people online, and you can use them as PNG files, and you can actually use them over and over again, and they do actually make lovely little journaling spots. You can actually just print them off in black on a normal printer as well, but I've had a friend that's got a toner printer, so she run me off quite a few sheets that I can foil, which has been very, very nice. And a journaling spot's always nice to have on a layout. So this one here was just from one of the 3x4 cards that Simple Stories do with the line. So we're just going to attach this on the top like so. Simple Stories do a lot of the 3x4 or 4. They do the 4x6 cards that you can use as cutouts and that. So that was where this card has come from. Now I've just got a flower that I've cut out from one of the sheets, which I'm just going to pop on the bottom of this card. Just to hide the bottom of that sheet. And I've introduced a little bit of the lovely orangey tone that came with this set, and I'm just going to cut this butterfly down just a tiny tad. It's just slightly too big, so what you can do there is just trim it down. To make it the right size. And there we have a beautiful journaling card that they can write their story. Now this card here is a 3x4, which I've done my gold edging. I just want my photo mat, so once again with this I have just cut off 1/8 of an inch on both sides, and that gives you just a tiny little border around, so that you can nearly put a full 3x4 photograph on there. And I've done slightly different with this one. I've got my white 3x4. I've just cut 1/8 of an inch off two sides so that we have that very tiny border. Then I did my photo mat, which is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So once again, it has got just that tiny little border working. Now with this card, we've just got the one with the birds which I've edged in pink. And that once again has just got 1/8 of an inch on 2 sides taken off to give you that tiny little border. And I got one of the cards from the ephemera pack. Which I'm going to stick here, like so. And I found a little saying which was nice, so I'll just pop that up the top. And there we have very quickly our 3x4 cards. We also have our cards that we have completed. And there we have our full set. Now, as you always know, I always try to do a journaling card and 2 photo mats and an eye candy, just to keep things different. And I've put the darker green on these 2 to even the page out. So now we'll go on to our right hand side of our layout. Now we'll start our portrait cards. So I have my 6x4. I have got the card cut from the butterfly card, which is a print which is going the correct way. So I've just edged that in gold. Now, I just need, with this one, I haven't quite taken off enough off of one side. So what I did there is I just cut my 6x4 and I haven't taken the 1/8 of an inch off either side to give me that little border. Okay, so we stick that down. Now I have got a photo mat which is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So you just need the backing mat to be 3 1/2 by 4 1/2 to give you that tiny border. Now I want my card to be at the top, so I will just place that down. So once again, you've got your borders running. This was just off of the sticker sheet. I'm just going to mottle those edges so they're not so transparent. And we are going to put this one at the bottom. And once again, because of where that photograph is going to go, we will just slide a little bit of that paper underneath to stop it from sticking on the photograph. And we will just cut off the excess that we don't need. And there we have a very simple card done. Now this one is slightly different. It's very similar to the other card that we've just done, but I've introduced a little bit of the apricot tones because there's so much pink. And there is in the florals that little bit of apricot going on. So what I have done, I've got my 6x4, then I cut off an 1/8 of an inch on two sides to give me my border. Then I cut another 1/8 of an inch, so this one is just that tiny little bit smaller, so you've only got that whisker off of the card. I know it doesn't seem an awful lot, but it does make a difference to the overall effect that you will get. And I've just edged that in gold. Now I do have a green piece of the card which I've edged quite a bit with the gold. Now because we've got the card on the opposite side with the label down the bottom, I want this one to be at the top, and then I will put my photo mat the opposite like this down the bottom. And as you can tell, that little bit of apricot is in here, does make a difference. So we will put the first piece down like so, and not take this one down yet. We will get our card and have a bit of a, yep, so that one needs to just go underneath, and I want it from edge to edge. So that is an inch strip by 4 inches. So I'm going to put some tape on. Does help if you have it taped. And just slide it underneath so that you've got 1/2 inch above and 1/2 inch below the card there. And it's to break this black and white floral off. Now this came off the sticker sheet, and I want that just above and slightly to the left hand corner, so that your card is virtually the same, but they are opposites. In the portrait 6x4s, all the photo mats have been 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 with just the pink mat, which is just slightly larger on all 3 of the cards that we've just done. I have used that spludgy paper with the birds on and made sure that the writing is running the right way for that. I've edged it in gold. And we are going just to attach that. And once again, you can see I haven't cut, I've done my 6x4 again. So I just need an 1/8 of an inch off one side and an 1/8 of an inch. I'll take it from the bottom. And that will give me my border that I require for all of my cards with this particular one. There we have it there. This particular one, I'm going to use a flower, and I'm going to use this here. I might even use the butterfly. So I will fussy cut that out in a minute. Now I have got here my green card. Which I need to take off a smidgen. That is also something else you can do. You can actually mark it with a pencil and cut it that way. Okay, we'll stick that down. Like so. We then have our card will fit like so, and then I will put my flower in the bottom here and maybe a butterfly. So we'll stick our photo mat in first. Like so. And then I will cut my flower out. Right, I've cut my flower out. I'm going to put a little green butterfly on this time to add that little pop of green to balance up that dark green that I've used in the layout. Just push all my junk out the way. There we go. And I will make sure and there we have our next card. Now I'm going to put a little bit of tape just on the side so that I can get the photograph up and underneath that piece there. Okay, so I've got my 6x4, and next one has got the 1/8 of an inch cut off two sides. Pop that on. Now with this one it's going to be pure eye candy cards, so I got from the sticker sheet here, this one here, I've decided I'm going to put this just on the bottom and stick it down. I've got another little saying here I'm going to pop stick the butterfly just over the other side. Like so. And there we have our next card done. Now we're on to our 3x4 cards. So I have got the 3x4 here, and I am just going to put the white mat, which has had an 1/8 of an inch cut off both sides, to give us our photo mat. One card done, and this one had the green, which is exactly the same and I've just edged it in gold. We got 2. This one here had the card with birds, so I just want that on to there, and it's got a slightly more white showing. Now I have used the stickers from the sticker sheet, so we're just going to place that on the card. Edged it in gold. Now this one was off of the sticker sheet, but I've just added, to cover up those words, a butterfly. Going to stick that on there, and then to match the wording I've got on this one, I am going to stick some wording on this one, and this one was attached here, so I've just snipped it off. I'll put that there. I'm just going to put this one here. Like so. Last but not least, I have got the white card with, and I've just edged it in pink with the butterflies. We have got a little bit to construct here, so this is going to go down the bottom. And this is going to go behind but be tucked up and over like so. So we will just attach these. So we want that down the bottom. And then this one gets tucked just on the top like so. And then I want the orangey coloured butterfly just to be attached. On the card like so. We will cut off the excess. And there we have our cards. So now we have got the right hand side page completely finished. Here we have the finished layout. I've popped all the cards into the plastic sleeves and etc., and put all my photographs, and I've also done a bit of journaling and etc. I'll be doing quite a bit more journaling, but I actually hide my journaling in the back with file folders so that you can't see a lot of handwriting, but it is there to remind you of things that have happened and the funny things that people say. Thanks everyone for watching my process video. I hope you enjoyed the journey that we've been on, and join us for our next exciting process video, which should be coming up shortly. And don't forget, I also have plenty of other process videos on my YouTube channel with different collections and things that I've used, different techniques, and everything else that you can look at. So till next time, thanks and bye.